Welcome to Howzzat. It is the halfway stage of the Indian Premier League 2020. To discuss last night's game, where Royal Challengers Bangalore had a romp against Kolkata Knight Riders, is my friend and colleague Vijay Lokapally. Good morning, Vijay.
Yeah, good morning, Rajaraman. Imagine we've come halfway stage. Time has flown. We started this little show wondering if we'll be able to last the distance, but we have completed half the distance.
I think we are pacing ourselves quite well, Vijay. Pretty happy with how we are doing that. Royal Challengers Bangalore has joined Mumbai Indians and the Delhi Capitals at the top of the table with 10 points from the 7 games. Looks a very balanced team now, Vijay, with the bowlers doing really well. They have come together as a very strong unit this year.
It is top heavy. If you look at Finch, Padikkal, Virat Kohli, and De Villiers, they seem to be the best top four batsmen in the whole tournament, and they are peaking. They're peaking at the right time. Each one has a role assigned, and they have a good bowling attack also. So you are right. It's looking a very compact team now.
But last night, it was all about AB de Villiers, wasn't it?
I'm wondering why did he retire from international cricket? Why? So many of his fans must be wondering why. The pace at which he is batting, how he has dominated, all bowlers look to him like club bowlers, and it's a moot question. South African Cricket Board should request De Villiers to come and play. He can pick and choose his matches, but he should give his services to South African cricket.
Last night, Vijay, everyone was struggling. Even Virat Kohli was not able to time the ball as sweetly as he's known to. But de Villiers made it look like he was playing on a different track altogether. He took the pitch out of the equation so comfortably, Vijay, that you can keep watching him forever and ever.
He's an amazing batsman. I can quickly remember that knock at Delhi, if you remember Rajaraman, the test match it was, and he came up with the best of defense. He just blocked. It was hard to believe that was De Villiers. So, which means he's such a versatile batsman, and he is towering above everyone in this tournament. They look pygmies in front of him.
As usual, we are joined by KP Bhaskar, a coach and former Delhi captain, with his views on AB de Villiers winning.
What a great player AB de Villiers is. He's rightly called the Mr. 360 degrees. The range of shots that he possesses, many of the cricketers don't even attempt. On a pitch where even our own Virat Kohli was struggling to find the boundaries and timing, he made mincemeat of the KKR bowling. He not only dented the KKR hopes of the winning streak, but also dented a few cars in the bargain. What clean hitting and amazing stroke play. It's unfortunate that de Villiers has quit international cricket. Many of his fans and admirers have missed him over the years, but he still has so much of cricket and talent left in him that it's a great loss for world cricket.
Thank you, Bhaskar. It's always good to have you on Howzzat. Vijay, it is not just Bhaskar. I think all of us are fans of de Villiers, and it is hard not to sing praise of this wonderful batsman.
Yeah, and thank God we are not reporting because we would have run out of words writing about this man's batting.
His third half century in IPL this year. He looks a class apart from everybody else. Even Virat Kohli, from 20 yards away, was left admiring the manner in which de Villiers took the bowling to task.
Rajaraman, I think his fans, RCB fans, may be silently praying that he keeps his best for the last two matches. RCB looks to sure to play the playoffs, and that is where I would love De Villiers to reserve his best for the playoffs. He should not run out of steam before reaching that very critical phase of the tournament.
Let us talk a bit about Aaron Finch. He made a 47 at a time when he didn't seem to be finding his touch. Was a crucial innings for him individually.
Yes, you see how he was hanging in there. He knew he was not getting his shots, but he was picking those ones and twos. just the way Virat Kohli. I mean, we can talk about his running between the wickets later. But Finch, you are right. He has adapted well, and he's playing his role. I mean, he has to give a good start, solid start, which he is able to give.
The fact that Kamlesh Nagarkoti and Varun Chakravarti had tied him down would have been weighing heavily on his mind, and his dismissal set the stage for AB de Villiers to come and unfurl his range of strokes.
Yeah, good. It happened because if Finch was going to hamper RCB's plans of at least a total of 170, 180, then it was time for De Villiers to walk in, and he lost little time in taking charge. I mean, he was straight away, and he had marked his areas clearly where he is going to hit those sixes and where he was going to hit those boundaries. And Rajaraman, there was one particular shot which De Villiers played where he made room. It was almost a yorker from Andre Russell, and he managed to play it over the point.
I liked his first scoring stroke, Vijay. It was just rocketed past the bowler, as Virat Kohli pointed out last night. That shot told me that it was going to be De Villiers' night. I was wishing for a De Villiers knock, but even I did not fancy him playing the way he did. A 73 that made the difference between 175 and 195.
No doubt. I mean, he was. It was a vintage De Villiers knock. I mean, he would have played such innings so many times, and it was just reserved for a day where RCB needed it most. And I'm so happy that class in his batting, which the spectators can continue to enjoy.
Vijay, I was wondering if the KKR bowlers did not pitch it too further up for De Villiers to play those wonderful shots in front of the wicket. He did not have any strokes behind the wicketkeeper, but you got to see a range of strokes from extra cover down to deep mid wicket. He was fantastic, but I thought the bowlers erred in bowling a good length to him.
Well, I think the form which he was in, he may have improvised if they had changed the length also. I mean, he was just unstoppable, and he had marked his areas. If you see, some of his shots went out of the ground. So he was. There was power, there was timing, there was placement. What do you want, and how do you stop this batsman?
I think this is what the KKR bowlers were wondering as well. I'm sure DK, standing right behind the stumps, must have been amazed at the range of shots that De Villiers played. In fact, he pointed out that De Villiers usually shuffles around the crease a lot, but last night he stood rock steady and played his shots in front of the wicket.
Sometimes he's really hard batsman to bowl to because the way he moves around the crease. But today it was one of those days where he stood still. He made sure that he cleared his left leg and got a lot of balls outside the ground. So it wasn't that easy to bowl to him. But overall, I think kudos to him for the way he batted.
Dinesh Karthik is right. I mean, he uses the crease, that is his kingdom. And I mean, there was no need for De Villiers to worry because the bowlers were dancing to his tune. The onus was on the bowlers to find the escape route.
It is a pity that the efforts of Kamlesh Nagarkoti, who mixed up his slow deliveries really well, and Varun Chakravarti, who bowled very smartly, went in vain. On a track that was slowing down considerably, it was tough for KKR to mount a challenge and get to 195. It was too tall an order, Vijay.
Too tall an order, and because given the fact that they were struggling with their own batting and RCB had the right bowler, I mean, they had, once you have this total to defend, you walk in with so much of confidence, and everything fell in place. If you see, in quick time, the match was dead.
And then the RCB bowlers, every one of them contributed significantly. Of course, the two spinners, Washington Sundar and Yuzvendra Chahal, bowled magnificently in the condition.
Yeah, because see, remember, they could command respect from the batsmen because the batsmen were not able to play the natural game. I mean, they just went into a shell. They didn't realize, and with Saini bowling so superbly right through the tournament, it's not going to be easy for teams playing against RCB to do well.
The sight of Tom Banton's wicket sent flying by Navdeep Saini would have struck terror in the opposition camp.
Yeah, an inside edge. I mean, Banton looked completely out of touch. He was struggling. It was as if he was. I mean, we can say he was not able to put bat to ball.
So that brings us to this question, Vijay. It's very important to discuss this. Did KKR miss a trick? Rahul Tripathi had played a fantastic knock the previous night at the top of the order, scoring 81 against Chennai Super King. Should he not have continued to open the innings?
Well, that match was a ploy. I mean, there was a role for given. He was tasked with a particular job to go and slog the ball because here, if you see, a lot depended on the surface also. It was maybe not the kind of surface where the party would have felt easy. So let us give leeway to the team management of KKR. They must have had some plans which did click last night.
In fact, it is a good idea, Vijay, to listen to what Dinesh Karthik had to say about this decision to send Rahul Tripathi down the order.
Once you play Tom Banton, I think you've got to make sure that he opens because that's where he is best at. And we know that Rahul Tripathi is somebody who's versatile and can adapt to any situation that he's been sent in. So we made sure that Banton, is beat somebody who's opened in international cricket and done well. So, that was the reason why we stuck with him as opener. Gilly, Nitish, Monks, these guys have been batting at opening 3 and 4. It's only the other ones, depending on the situation, that we've been sending who we feel at best is there to adapt to the situation and play the best possible game for themselves.
We will have to accept Dinesh Karthik's point of view about getting Tom Banton to open the innings. But then the chase never really took off. You had Shubman Gill playing okay, but not the kind of knock that you would want at the top of the order when you're chasing 195.
Absolutely, and I think T20 or IPL it requires a lot of flexibility from the batting lineup, and that's what KKR will have to look at in the second half of the tournament. How much can they juggle with the batting order, and how much can they get the best out of youngsters like Tripathi and Shubman Gill?
Also, I think Shubman Gill, as the only top order batsman who had a double-figure score, should have gone on to play a bigger knock. Then he went and gave his wicket up in attempting a very, very silly single to Isru Udana at short point.
Yeah, young fellow. I mean, he'll have to learn quite a few aspects of cricket. Batting includes, I mean, like you say, running between the wickets. And so, judge of how to judge a single. It's a very, very important in limited overs cricket. So, learning lessons for Gill, because otherwise he is a batsman for the future.
Vijay, no amount of praise will be too high for Washington Sundar and Chahal for the manner in which they tied down the batsmen, taking 3 wickets between themselves and bowling 8 very effective overs and not conceding too many runs.
Yeah, and they love their bowling. I mean, you see, they kind of complement each other, and after taking a wicket, they exert as if they know they've planned it well and their plans have been executed. Both keep talking of process, execution, whatever it means. They have been doing a good job, and it's an ideal pair complementing each other.
Washington Sundar, of course, took those 2 big wickets. First, he got Nitish Rana, bowled him, bowling from round the wicket and castling his middle stump. And then Owen Morgan, he could have made a big difference to KKR's chase last night, but got him to play an expansive shot and a simple catch to point off the leading edge. Let us watch Washington Sundar speak about his partnership with Yuzvendra Chahal in that press conference last night.
Coming into this particular season, we did feel that we will get a lot of assistance for spinners, at least in the middle phase of the tournament, and very glad to have bowled well in tandem with him, and as I said, very happy to be on the winning side. I think I've just been wanting to keep things simple and hit the hard lengths over and again. That's something which has been working for me also in this particular season, and didn't want to try too many things just because we're playing in Sharjah, and a very important win for us. I think the fact that we playing 6 bowlers today was very good, and we clearly would have seen the result also, winning by 85 runs against a team like KKR.
That does raise questions, Vijay. The success of the 2 spinners for RCB and the choice of just one spinner that Dinesh Karthik and Brendan McCullum went for KKR last night does raise questions. They knew the pitch was going to slow down, and they went ahead and still played only one spinner. Did they concede psychological defeat by keeping Sunil Narine out of the squad last night? I did think that they took a huge risk in dropping Sunil Narine and not playing him last night.
would I be wrong in assuming that the fact that Sunil Narine has come under clout as far as his bowling action is concerned, so that could be one of the reasons they just want him to take easy and probably use it towards in the second half of the tournament. And Rajaraman also, they have one bowler who has not been playing at all.
Kuldeep Yadav, I'm sure you're talking about Kuldeep Yadav.
Yes.
Strange choices, or so it might seem. But Vijay, you and I are not the only ones wondering why Kuldeep Yadav is not playing. Let us watch this question from Nish Nawalkar, who is from North Stand Gang in Mumbai.
Hello Vijay sir, hello Rajaraman sir. I am Nish Nawalkar from the North Stand Gang. Greetings to you. My question is about the Kolkata Knight Riders and the mystery around Kuldeep Yadav. So they've been doing this for the past 2 seasons now. They just play him for a couple of games and then they bench him, keep him in the dugout during their matches. So Kuldeep Yadav is a Chinaman, a wrist spinner. He's probably bowled a ball of the 2019 World Cup. And he's a really hot commodity as far as bowlers are concerned, but still KKR management isn't making use of him. It's also unfair for him when other players of his age group and of his generation are making great statements in the Indian Premier League, but this poor guy has to sit out and just keep on watching the proceedings. So yeah, my question is first, why would they continue with Kuldeep Yadav after they did the same thing in the last year? And again, the second question is, can they just trade him off in the mid-season player transfer? Thank you.
Nish, it's a very, very good question. There is no doubt about that. Typical of North Stand Mumbai gang, you have very good questions to ask. First and foremost, I think it is the nature of the beast. IPL is such that it can be cruel to young bowlers, not just to young bowlers. Look at Chris Gale. He's sitting out of the Kings 11 Punjab. Who would have imagined the legendary Chris Gale sitting out and not having played a single game? Of course, the last couple of games he's been out because of food poisoning. But who would have imagined Chris Gale being left out? So Kuldeep Yadav will have to come to terms with the fact that KKR has not played him because he's not bowled as well as he could in the earlier games. Then to answer your other question, Nish, he cannot be traded now because he played 3 games. The mid-season trading rules say that only players who have played less than 2 matches or fewer, can be traded. And unfortunately for Kuldeep Yadav, he cannot be traded at this point of time. And even if he could be, I don't think KKR will let him free and play for another franchise. Fancy Kuldeep Yadav bowling against KKR and picking up 4 wickets in a game. I don't think they will want to risk that. Vijay?
Yeah, and there could be role for him in the second half when the pitches would suit his bowling. A lot of wear and tear, and spinners would be in demand. And I think this Chinaman can wait.
Will be interesting to see how he responds to the challenge of coming back, whether he's mentally tough and whether he can adapt his bowling to the slowing pitches. Will be interesting because he's a class act and there is no doubt about that. But within IPL, I think players go in expecting the worst. Everything else seems to be a bonus for them. Let's move now to tonight's game between Sunrisers Hyderabad and Chennai Super Kings. Sunrisers will want those 2 points to try and make a run to the playoffs. Chennai Super Kings, with the backs to the wall, will want to win every game from here on and can be a dangerous opposition.
They have no other choice. I mean, they have to now pull up their socks, as they say, forget whatever happened in the first phase, come back strongly, fresh, and maybe look at changing the batting order, maybe bigger role for Dhoni in the top half. So let us hope CSK doesn't disappoint its fans, but it's going to be very, very tough journey.
Dhoni, of course, has asked for more aggression from the top. He wants more runs. He says it's okay to lose in 17 overs rather than bat through 20 and have 6 wickets in hand. And he wants the top order to take more responsibility and score at a faster clip. Will be interesting to see how they go against a very, very balanced Sunrisers Hyderabad attack tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us hope we'll get a good game.
Thank you very much, Vijay, and I hope to catch up with you tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you, Rajaraman. Have a good day.